Greetings, everyone. It's the All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 448. Tonight we have Tony Korkanakis
Yo.
and Mike Saniti.
What's up?
And of course, your host for this evening. Since Jim is not here, Corey Feinstein. That's me.
What?
That's 2 weeks in a row. Jim's not able to make it, but he's got work stuff, field trips and things to the DC area. The holiday, it makes sense, I suppose. It was Memorial Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone, well, unless you work retail or like a restaurant, you got the day off. So hopefully you all had a nice holiday weekend there, extra day. But what we're gonna do is talk about the movies and what we've been up to and this box office that happened and certain animated movies that became live action. So kind of tying that in, we're gonna pick a movie that we would like to see animated become live action, and then vice versa, what live action movie we would like to see animated. We'll do that as our topic at the end.
If we can think of it.
If we can think of it. We kind of was just like on the spot here.
The moment.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't really get to research it all. We just thought it would be fun since coming in at number one in the box office was the live action version of Disney's Aladdin, starring Will Smith and a bunch of people you've never heard of before.
Wow.
Exactly.
You're not wrong. You said it,
I mean, it is what it is, and maybe now you do know these people. Unless you watched Power Rangers or something, like you don't know who these people are.
Power Ranger?
Jasmine was Pink Ranger.
The new Power Rangers.
The movie you're talking about.
Yeah, the movie.
Okay.
Yep. So that came at number one with a 4-day total of $112.7 million. That's the holiday weekend total.
Its real weekend was what, like 87 or something?
Yeah, it was just under 90. So as far as Memorial Day weekends go, that actually is a top 5. I think it was number 4 overall for Memorial Day weekend. So that's not that bad.
Solid.
It's definitely a good number there, and it seems to be doing well domestically or foreign as well, not just domestic, with 233 foreign. So yeah, there's a draw to it. I think we may hear about that later too. So coming in at number 2 was John Wick number 3, chapter 3, and man, that I'm excited because we're gonna get a 4th one too. They've announced that already, so that's number 2, and then we may hear more about that later on as well. So stay tuned. And then number 3 is Avengers Endgame. Still, obviously, just ranking it in as far as domestic and worldwide. Worldwide is what, at 2.7 billion. Whoosh. Pokemon Detective Pikachu is number 4, and Brightburn, the Superman Gone Wrong movie at number 5. And if Jim was on, I think Jim actually saw that movie, so maybe we'll hear about that next week. But so that's your top 5 of the box office. So let's get into what we've been up to and watched, and what we teased earlier with Aladdin. Mike, you mentioned you saw Aladdin, and I'm assuming you saw it with your wife.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like our 1-year anniversary this weekend, and
okay,
that was part of it.
Okay, congrats.
Thanks. So we
you
saw
did
it. So again, I don't remember the first one very well. I don't remember details.
Oh, man.
I remember like the overarching
everything,
but I think I saw it maybe once in my life. So, but from what I remember, so seeing Aladdin, live action Aladdin, it's like the same movie pretty much. I don't see any major deviations that I can recall, but I don't recall the details too much. I will say, first of all, Will Smith is about 50-50 in this movie. I will say that. Half of it is human Will Smith, about half of it is blue CGI monstrosity Will Smith. The CGI still is bad on him throughout when he's there, pretty much all the time. I don't know why he needs to look like he's on steroids or what they did with the performance capture, but it's just weird. It's not good. That said, a lot of people are like upset about him in this movie, and I think I was okay with him. I just think did it differently enough from Robin Williams that it's his own, like, it's a Will Smith, it's a Fresh Prince genie, like it's a different thing. Now it's definitely Will Smith being Will Smith, and if you don't like that or you get sick of that, like maybe you won't like it. I watched Fresh Prince back in the day. I'm fine with it. He's also a relic of the '90s. It's just like Aladdin is to me. So it all sort of fits for me. But so then he was okay. He was entertaining. It was weird because all of the songs and a few new ones are in it, I think, and he is actually singing, not rapping, in some of them.
Oh wow, I'd be surprised. I'm surprised. I thought he was going to interpret them a little bit more, modernize them a little, and do the rap.
He did, for like something like "Never Had a Friend Like Me" is like 99% rap, and then like when you hit the high note at the end, he just sings that. That's it. But no, he actually sings Arabian Nights, which is weird.
Well, I mean, Robin Williams does that, right?
Doesn't I don't know. I don't know if he actually sung it, but it was weird hearing him sing it because like we're not used to Will Smith's singing voice. It wasn't what you'd expect, I would say, from him singing, but it was all right. It was kind of funny. It was the same story visually, other than the awful CGI for the genie. It was pretty visually interesting. No real surprises. It was the same story. It's pretty good, I would say. Not great.
The thing, like, we saw the clip. We kind of talked about that clip with Prince Ali, and the thing I think is missing is just the fun, like, little details that Robin Williams brought to the character of Genie, like when he would switch into like the kid, because in that song he's like, he becomes a kid and he becomes an old man and he becomes like a woman.
Again,
it's
Robin Williams' thing. He like those little impressions,
right? And I think that's what's
not
missing
what
a little bit.
Is, though. That's not what he's going to do or try to do.
Sure,
so.
sure. No, and that's fine.
Magic, I mean, that's the magic.
But I understand you want to kind of separate yourself from the Robin Williams one. Just kind of respect it, but at the same time, like that's the one I know and that's the one I cherish as far as this movie goes. And so it's kind of hard to separate that from what I'm seeing. And I do want to give this a fair shake and say like, hey, I'm glad this exists kind of thing, but at the same time I don't need it either.
But Will Smith's presence has felt pretty big in it too, because like aside from the fact that like you get sort of rappier versions of these songs, the genie has this different sort of personal swagger to him that comes with Will Smith's maybe, and there's actually the biggest new thing is kind of like he has a little subplot that's extra that wasn't in the original story. So I mean, again, your mileage with this movie will depend on how much you like Will Smith. Pretty much, it is a Will Smith movie, even though there's pretty big sections where he's not doing anything. But that's just how the story goes. So that was the main big thing I watched. I also watched another episode in the middle of season 2 of Legion, because I know the third one is like happening soon. I want to catch up. And I had one of those instances where I recommended Legion to a friend, thought he liked it, and he's like, oh, cool. And he watched the whole series past me before I watched like 2 episodes, because I just don't binge shows like that. And I also rewatched The Room, because it's just fun. I showed it to someone else new. That's just a movie. It's funny because it's not a good movie, and there's like, I wouldn't call it my favorite movie, but I can rewatch it more than movies I like.
It's Jim's watchability factor.
It's just
the watchability factor.
Yeah, that's why I think that's a stupid factor. Personally,
you just admitted to it.
This is the definition of watchability factor.
It's watchability, but I mean, this movie is objectively terrible.
That's fine.
That's the whole point of the watchability factor. You're not basing the quality of the filmmaking. You're basing on like, do I want to watch it? And
entertainment.
But no, it's just a movie that like it's fun to introduce other people to it and see their reactions, and that was the situation, and it's still funny to me. That was it. So yeah, 3 things for me.
I mean, I guess that's the kind of like with the whole like Game of Thrones. If you're a book reader, you're like, I just want to see people react to what like they're seeing and stuff. Early on, obviously, not the later stuff. All right, Tony, how about you?
I saw John Wick 3.
Yes. Man, that opening sequence though with the knives, I love that.
That was actually one of my favorite sequences in the
Yes.
entire movie.
And then just the axe at the end. I'm not saying like just like
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
theater was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like you could definitely tell, like they had a much bigger budget for this movie,
Oh, yeah.
which is mostly good. But it was just like, oh, like shit, like a lot of stuff is going on here. But yeah, it was really good. I like it. It literally starts off like moments after the second one ends. So like, there's very little plot building. It's just kind of like from the get go, it's just like go, action. It's like, okay, so like after like 20 minutes action, it's like, all right, well here's what the plan is, I guess, for this movie and stuff like that. And it's just like this journey and quest to stay alive. Definitely, there's more on the world building, which I had said previously. I really wish they expanded upon, which is cool. But it's like at the same time, like they answer questions but introduce more ones. I'm like, well, wait, what does that mean?
No, for every question they answer, they like give you 2 more questions. Like, wait, what's this and what's that?
Yeah, and there were some confusing parts where I'm like, wait, what was the point of that? I guess, or like what was?
And there's like new characters that get introduced in this that you're like, so who are they and like why are they important? And like, why do people respect that? It's like, so we get a lot of those types of things where now it's like, well, I guess we got to find out in John Wick 4.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's really cool. Very enjoyable. I'm glad that, it's obviously doing really well in the box office and looking forward to the 4th one. So yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the first 2, I mean, there's no question about it. You have to see this. I will say it did get a little bit gorier, I want to say. I mean, maybe I'm just not remembering the first 2. Like there was one scene with a knife where I was just like, I like kind of cringed. I was like, oh, like
and an eye.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was like, oh no, like no. And then was it just the one guy from the raid, or was it multiple?
Oh, it was 2 of them at the end. Both of those guys were in the raid movie.
Like that were fighting him at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
The 2 guys with the knives, and they were like joking with each other.
So obviously the one dude's like the small like boss.
Yeah, the Mad Dog from the raid.
Yeah, Mad Dog. Who's the other dude?
He was just another like guy in the raid.
Okay, it wasn't like one of the main characters or anything.
Yeah, he wasn't like a star, but he was like kind of like a sub boss type of guy.
Gotcha.
But
okay, because I was like, I don't think that looks like him and stuff, but
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the main like the hero. Yeah. He was a villain in the.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, but I mean, it was really enjoyable. All the choreography was awesome. The gunfighting was awesome. Halle Berry's sequence was a riot. Like that was crazy. It was just a fun scene to watch because like, how the hell did they pull this off? Like in terms of like stun said.
Yeah, it was like nonstop.
Yeah,
it's like for like 20 minutes, just like
yeah, it's kind of like overload. Like at the point, like are they gonna run out of dudes to shoot soon? Like I don't know. But yeah, definitely really good. And then what else? I watched One Punch Man season 2. No, not a fan.
No.
It's interesting.
It's animation, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that, and I can definitely tell the difference, but it's not like detracting enough for me where I'm just like, I can't watch this. But I like the premise for the storyline this year. I think it's kind of cool and intriguing. It's a different route from.
Maybe I have to catch up. I was like, oh, I don't like. So
yeah, I think you'll get used to it. But yeah, that's all I've been up to.
You didn't see Attack on Titan, the latest episode?
No, that's the thing. I'm probably going to catch up.
Did you see like on what was it, IMDb or whatever? I think it was IMDb. It was like it had like a 10 rating like forever, and then people started trolling with 1s.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so like they're saying it was like the best episode of the series ever. It was like an amazing episode. The manga, right?
Yeah.
And you got to the basement.
Yeah.
Because that's what this episode is.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Anyway, what I've been up to was I actually caught up on My Hero Academia because I was kind of letting that buffer for a while, talking about anime here. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's one of those. It's like it's a really enjoyable anime. You just like have a lot of fun, and it's easy to root for these characters.
Wait, is it new season? No, we're talking about season 3.
Season
right?
3, yeah.
Okay.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Once they went to the dorms, like after
there's like a nice lull,
so it's kind of like I'll just let this buffer for a while, and I kind of forgot about it, and then I went back and started watching it again. So that's good. And the other thing I watched was just some random like police procedural because it had Maggie from The Walking Dead, Lauren Cohen, in it, and this is like the next thing she did after leaving Walking Dead. And it's a show about her being a spy and then this other guy being a spy. and they basically have totally opposite views on how to do it. So one, he's like, guy's compassionate and like says you gotta use your feelings and like and all this, and she's like all cold hard killer style. And so it's kind of the clash of those two, and it was pretty interesting. I thought it was like a good concept, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And I found out that they actually canceled it after the season, so there is no season 2, unfortunately. But yeah, so I watched a couple episodes of that and just kill some time. And that's what I've been watching.
Okay.
So let's get into the news, because there's been a couple things that were pretty interesting. So start off with, I feel like because we got to kind of have to start off with this first, I think. And that's the Sonic movie getting delayed until next year, February 14th, 2020.
It's not really that big of a delay, honestly. I thought it would be more.
Not too big of a delay, but like we all knew that they were going back to the drawing board with Sonic, and they had to go back. It's like he was just did not look right. If you're a Sonic fan,
I don't know if they had to. I feel like the movie is going to be kind of shitty regardless, but
I can understand that point of view. At the same time, like it's coming out, like might as well make him look like Sonic and not like a rat.
They could have done that the first time too. So clearly there's something wrong with their judgment, so I don't know what this movie is going to be anyway.
Yeah. But so when was it originally coming out? Do you know, Mike?
I think it was like fall right before that, or November. So it's like a 3-4 month delay only.
I thought it was a little bit longer, but in any case, it's coming next year. So that's getting moved, and I think that's smart. I mean, I definitely think they needed to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting into like the meme territory where it's so toxic. Like there's no coming back from that if you don't.
Exactly, and like the social, like the memes were more
getting Andromeda.
Yeah. So then next up we have the Vanity Fair ran a story on Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker, and showed a bunch of different images and stuff regarding that, and showed all the different. Not all the different, but a bunch of locations and returning characters and some characters from the original trilogy as well. Did you guys get to see that at all?
Not really.
I didn't look for it. I mean, I knew it was there. I saw some of the pictures and stuff.
I mean, I just know, we've seen some images of Lando, and I just know it's funny that they decided that he needs to wear the exact same thing or else we won't recognize him.
So from Solo. It's not like he wore that in the other movies, I think that like for me, the hype is not as like I know Jim, if he was here, he'd be like gushing over this and talking about it because he's really hyped for this. But for me, the hype is just not there yet. I don't know. I just don't want to be let down again, I guess. And no matter what, like people later on say, Last Jedi is this great masterpiece and it was underappreciated when it came out and all. Like that's fine. But in that moment, I was not there. I was not ready for this, and I did not enjoy myself. So, hopefully one day I can look back and be like, wow, I can't believe I hated this movie. But, with this one, hopefully that, because movies sequels can make movies looking back either better or worse sometimes.
Do you think in this last movie that Benicio del Toro's character comes back to do anything of import?
No.
No,
I don't. Who cares about him? Like, I don't know who. Like, why does he matter?
Then a third of that movie was a waste of time.
Yeah, and then same thing with Brienne. Like, she was pointless. We're gonna get more for what was her name? Phasma, right? Like, we're gonna get more of her in this next movie, but she was just like.
Is she gonna come back to and become important in this movie?
I think I think she'll be back because
for like the third time.
Yeah. Moving on, we do have some really interesting news that I am pretty excited for. Talking about anime before, and Taika Waititi is his name. Taika Waititi, the director of Thor Ragnarok, is going to be releasing or directing Akira in 2021. It's coming out.
Yeah.
This is like one of those anime that was a landmark for the type of thing that it was back when it came out. And, one of the first, not first, but like a well-known, Japanese anime to come to America, I would say.
Yeah, it was pretty big back in the day.
and the icon, just the Neo Tokyo concept was really cool, and obviously the futuristic aspect of it was neat, and then obviously the story and plot was pretty interesting. I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, I mean, it was pretty. What's the correct word? It inspired a lot of other things like Matrix. You can definitely see there's a lot of like homage to the setting in Neo Tokyo. I mean, Neo, and stuff like that.
The iconography and everything. That's good.
It's pretty crazy. So,
but I mean, as far as Taika doing it, I think that's a great fit actually, because
I think
his visual style.
Exactly, his visual style. I mean, just like you could tell, even just if we're looking at the Marvel stuff, like the cinematography and the visuals of Thor 1 and 2 to Ragnarok, it's like huge jump where it's just like, I mean, Ragnarok, actually, I don't think people talk about it as much, but Ragnarok had some beautiful like visuals, like the scene where like it's all the Valkyries going against Hela and like a slow motion. It kind of looks like almost like a painting, like reliving a painting sequence or something like that. Or when Thor's unlocks his powers and he's about to do like the whole crashing into the bad guys on the bridge at the end of the movie. Like there's some really cool cinematography there. So I think he has a flair for it, and so I think that would lend itself well to just the scenes that happen in Akira.
No, absolutely, I agree. That's why I was most excited for this news, is that we're getting this, because this has been rumored for a while, and we're getting it finally, and I think that this director could potentially do a pretty good take on it. So moving on, Mike just added something to our news. What is going on here with Harrison Ford, Mike?
I know. Here's the thing about Harrison Ford: you never know if he's serious when he says things, but people were asking him about, Indiana Jones is going to be another movie, obviously, and they think that'll probably be it. He's in his mid-70s and he doesn't necessarily have anything else planned, and so they're talking about who's going to be the next Indiana Jones. He's like, nobody. When I'm done, that's it. No one, you don't get it. Like, that's it. Indiana Jones leaves with me, and so. I don't know if it's true or not, or even if that's his call.
I think that's Disney's call.
But is it Disney who has them?
They bought LucasArts,
or
Lucasfilm.
I guess that we should just assume Disney ownership on everything at this point.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's kind of funny, and I kind of agree. I mean, like, we already have ripoffs of Indiana Jones. It was kind of a ripoff of a trope anyway, but we already have the Nathan Drakes. We have that movie is still going to probably happen with Tom Holland eventually. We already got Lara Croft and all the Tomb Raiders. Like, you can have that type of thing. You don't need to call it Indiana Jones anymore anyway. So
we're getting an Uncharted movie at some point. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, with Tom Holland.
Yeah.
So no, you don't need to call it Indiana Jones. You'd have the same type of thing, and if he doesn't want anyone else to be him, that's fine with me. I think that would be.
Yeah. No, I don't think he has the power to say that. I think that's Disney's call. They want to bring it back. And, who knows? In 20 years, we may have another Indiana Jones, and I don't see Harrison Ford reprising the role in 20 years. So
who knows? He'll be like 95 and be like, "I'm in it."
And one last thing I just want to mention real quick was Just Cause, the video game, like, it's getting a movie adaptation. And the John Wick writer is going to be involved in that. So people are excited because it's John Wick writer. But, like, the writer really has nothing to do with, like, the fact that the stunts and, like, the action was so good. And not to say nothing to do, but, like, they can say – but usually when you're writing and then you say, oh, and it's an action scene here, and then it moves on. Like, you don't describe scene what's going to happen. Like, kind of leave that up to the stunt guys and the choreographer and director. So, but that's that. Oh, actually, there's one more thing I just noticed. Star Wars: The Old Republic is getting a movie adaptation as well. I don't know if I think it's probably more based on the MMO, maybe not necessarily the Knights of the Old Republic, but we'll see. More Star Wars. You're getting it. Obviously, you got D&D doing something. Jon Favreau's doing The Mandalorian. So we're getting Star Wars up the wazoo still.
Of course.
All right, and that brings us into our topic of the night, which is, I don't know if you guys got to think of anything yet, but if you had an animated movie get remade into a live action movie, or if you could get a movie that was live action turned into an animated film. I actually thought of two, so I'll go first and give you guys a couple more minutes to think about it. And my first one I was thinking to see live action would be the Black Cauldron, Disney's Black Cauldron movie.
Okay,
I think that could be
I like
interesting.
that. Yeah, I like that when I was
Because
younger.
it could be kind of creepy, a little bit dark. You could kind of make it a PG movie instead of a G, if you really wanted to. I'd probably be PG anyway, but maybe even push it to PG-13 because I think that movie back then probably should have been PG-13 in today's standards. So I think that would be interesting to see just visually, and the story behind it would be neat. And fantasy is always hot right now with Game of Thrones. You gotta fill that void. And then the movie I would like to see turn into an animated movie would be The Fifth Element. I think visually you could do some crazy shit with that, and make it look really cool. Because obviously with animation, you can just go off the wall with stuff. And with Into the Spider-Verse, we got so many cool, innovative animated techniques there. I could see The Fifth Element being like a great influence to make something crazy. So those are my two.
All right.
Okay.
Mike, you want to go? If you have something,
I can only think of one thing, and I would like a live-action version of Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh.
Just take that story, make it live action.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk about a couple. I mean, like, it honestly kills me, as much as I've given shit for the DCEU over the years. Like, I wish they would just adapt, like, the animated series. Like,
yeah,
they have the groundwork. They could do X amount of Batman movies. They could do X amount of Superman movies, lead up to the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited stuff. And there's so much potential there. And you can even do Batman Beyond too. It's like, it kills me that like they had, like, even before Marvel tried to do the connected movieverse, they had this in their animated series, which was so good and like just paid off for like longtime viewers, but like still managed to like get new viewers. It truly upsets me that the source material is so good, because like I don't even really care about the DC characters, but like those series made me love those characters because like just the way they were represented and like it's just wholesome.
I mean, they made characters that you could like identify with and get behind and really root for, and have genuine feelings about how they're doing in their lives and stuff. It's like even Young Justice. I was just thinking about that show, not like it's an emotional roller coaster as well as some of these characters. So and just the growth, like there's a lot of growth with them as well. They're not just
I would say too. You start with Mask of the Phantasm, do the whole like Timverse. You can draw from all of that, make a live action version.
Yep. And then one thing that I think going from like movie to like live action to anime, they kind of already did it, but it wasn't the actual thing. But I'd love to see like an animated Matrix, like the first one, like I know they did Animatrix and stuff like that.
It's kind of in the universe, not that movie,
right? I think if like because like don't get me wrong, like the first one still holds up like really well, I think, but I just think with what has progressed since the first Matrix came out, like both in just cinematography, choreography, animation, like CGI animation, all that stuff, you can make it like just another level. Not to say it would be better or worse, but it'd be a new experience.
Yeah. Same thing with like Spider-Verse. It's like I go to that now just because that's like a pinnacle for me for as far as like innovative animation and what you can't do in live action, and just to be able to like put something. We've seen live action Spider-Man movies, and now you've seen a animated Spider-Man movie, and so it's like there's so much you can do with the animation that you can't do with live action. So yeah, I'd be really interested to see that like a remake of the Matrix in animation instead. Cool. Well, if you guys have any ideas or anything else that you would be interested in, like a live action remake or a animated remake of a live action film, let us know and email us at podcast@allyoucangeek.net. Like us on Twitter, or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. We should be getting the YouTube out even now without Jim. We've kind of figured this out a little bit, so check us out on YouTube. And make sure you stick around, or not necessarily stick around, but make sure you listen to the Gamecast as well. We're going to be getting into pre E3 stuff, I'm sure, because that's coming up soon.
There's lots of stuff leaked anyway.
Yeah, so lots to talk about in the video game world. So we'll see you there. Right?
Yep.
Better.